The DC Extended Universe has had its ups and downs, mostly downs, but that doesn't mean it's gonna stop just yet. Well, at least I think so. But there were some pretty cool Easter eggs and nods to the Jason Todd Robin, one in Batman v Superman and another in Suicide Squad, with the former showcasing a suit of the former sidekick, and the latter being a very quick glance of Margot Robbie being an accomplice to the death of Robin. So who should play Robin? Or who should be cast as the Robins? I mean, there is no confirmation of there being multiple Robins like in the original source material, but let's go on the assumption that all of them were to appear in the DCEU. Be aware that the actors and actresses I'm about to list are my choices and preferences. This is not an official cast and is only my opinion on who should play who. None of this is a casting confirmation. And another thing to note, we would most likely see older Robins as opposed to a 13-year-old running around in Speedo booty shorts. So starting off with the first boy wonder. Dick Grayson, aka the Flying Grayson, was Batman's first sidekick ever introduced as Robin in comic book history. He is the most well-known of the Robins and even more loved by many through his other identity, Nightwing. So when it comes to casting this character, we have to take into account how old Grayson would be in the DCEU. With Batman being in his mid to late 40s, it's kind of obvious he would have taken up the persona of Nightwing by now. This is made evident as we see Jason Todd's burnt costume in the Batcave in BVS. So I'd imagine Dick Grayson would be around his early to mid 30s in this universe. Now honestly, with Nightwing being my favorite superhero of all time, I spent a lot of time on this out of everyone else. I wanted to make sure if I could see him on screen, I wanted him to be right. So after going through tons of actors to consider, in my honest opinion, I think Harry Lloyd would make a superb Nightwing. I've heard a lot of names being thrown around like Garrett Hedlund and Dylan O'Brien, but I have a few nitpicks as to why I didn't choose them. Hedlund definitely looks the part and is clearly the right age, but his acting is a little iffy. Some of his performances conveyed him as a wooden actor, and his work in Pan was mainly disliked by the vast majority of audiences. I'm sure he's had great performances before, but I don't think DC should take this big of a risk. They should secure an actor with a more positive, consistent track record. And Dylan O'Brien has the acting chops, but he's relatively too young for this universe. Granted, they could just say that he's older in the film, but I don't see him as a Dick Grayson. Harry Lloyd, on the other hand, combines both the looks and the talent to pull it off. His Tom Hiddleston / Loki-like charm would be a huge benefit to the Nightwing personality. He does have an English accent, but I'm pretty sure he could make an awesome American accent of some sort. Benedict Cumberbatch has done it, Henry Cavill did it, Sophie Turner did it, and Andrew Garfield did it, so that shouldn't be too much trouble. And the muscle thing too? If you're complaining that he's not buff enough, you do know there's a place called a gym, right? Lloyd's performance as Viserys on Game of Thrones is very much the opposite of what Dick Grayson's personality would be. But whenever he had some serious dialogue with someone that didn't involve any yelling, he displayed that calm, focused drive that reminded me a lot of Nightwing's character. My second choice would probably be Zac Efron, but still, I prefer Harry Lloyd cause, well, you know.
Everybody's always talking at me.
Now this one was much easier to cast simply because I'm not as attached to the character. Don't get me wrong, I still very much like Jason Todd, just not as much as I like Nightwing. So anyways, the famous Jason Todd has had the most references of any Robin on screen in the DCEU, and despite the backlash each DC film gets, the idea of Red Hood has kept many on the edge of their seats for his arrival. Now I know many of you aren't gonna like this part of what I'm gonna say, but Jensen Ackles being cast as Jason Todd is pretty slim. He's not too old, but he's quite past the age range I'd imagine Jason Todd to be in, which is the mid to late 20s. So I'd have to say, after watching his phenomenal performance in Kingsman: The Secret Service, Taron Egerton would make a great Red Hood. Again, he does have a very thick accent, but I know he could tackle it, and besides, he already showed he could. Well, sort of.
Oh, save go.
Where do you think you're going, man? I know it's
Canadian?
Yeah!
He imitated a Canadian accent, but it was close enough to an American one. This guy conveyed so much emotion as Eggsy in Kingsman that I was blown away. You saw the lightheartedness in him, the goodness in humanity, but you also saw a little of anger and frustration in his eyes, especially when he saw Colin Firth's character, Harry Hart, get shot. I firmly believe that Edgerton would change that spark we saw into a flame of rage that boils within the character of Jason Todd. He seems like he has the ability to do so as he held his own with the likes of Colin Firth and Samuel L. Jackson. And hell, he even has the body already. Seriously, it's like you could grate cheese on those things. Edgerton, at the time of this recording at least, is 26. Everyone was shown the Robin costume in the Batcave and it was really awesome. Except for the wide shot. Are those booty shorts? I understand that Robin always initially had green underwear and sexy flippers, but that just wouldn't work here. I mean, you got rid of Superman's undies, why can't you get rid of Robin's? And with the darker tone that DCEU has set, I'm praying that that model is just the pieces of the armor closer together and not the actual size of the person who wore it, because a dark and broody Batman with a 10-year-old kid in panties wouldn't mesh very well together. So these next few Robins aren't a first sure thing, because why would Batman get another Robin after his second sidekick literally just died? But anyways, I'll let you know right now, I'm aging these Robins up. So the third Robin, Tim Drake, is probably the most clever and deepest thinker out of all of them. He was able to deduce the fact that Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson were Batman and Robin, and is considered to be the best detective out of all the Robins. This guy that I'm about to recommend has been on nearly everyone's list to play him. Logan Lerman would kill it as Timothy Drake. He may be a little older than I'd expect Drake to be at this time, but hey, Marvel convinced us that 20-year-old Tom Holland was only 15 in Civil War. So why not do that same thing with Lerman? I mean, I don't think Robin would be 15 in this case. Maybe 18 or 19 so that we could have a more mature Robin. And well, not this.
I want a car. Chicks dig the car.
Logan Lerman shows that he can display a wide range of emotions on the silver screen, from the clever and magical Percy Jackson to the mental breakdowns in the perks of being a wallflower. And look, he makes a pretty good newbie as illustrated in 2014's Fury.
You know why he's here? He's here to kill you. He's here to kill you, Norman. He's here to rip your throat out to hell.
It shouldn't be too hard for him being the new Robin. He's a safe choice and an amazing one at the same time. This is really the more obscure Robin. Not really sure why, but Stephanie Brown is actually the girlfriend of Tim Drake. Well, used to be. Yeah, she got Gwen Stacy'd. But nobody stays dead in the comics, so there was this bizarre plotline where she was resurrected or never really died in the first place, and then stalked her old boyfriend, and then she becomes Batgirl, replacing the old Batgirl. But that's confusing, so let's go under the assumption that she will remain as Robin on screen, if she were ever to appear on screen. I mean, seriously, nobody knows about her. Anyways, this one is also sort of a no-brainer, as this actress has done this sort of role before. Chloe Grace Moretz would easily bring this character to life. And yes, this might be redundant for her, as she basically already played this character before, except with an alternate skin. But look how Aaron Taylor Johnson turned out. From Kick-Ass to Quicksilver to Quickly Dead. Whether or not she'd pick this role up is an entirely different question though. But still, that's who I think would make a good Stephanie Brown. Damian Wayne is the 5th person to don the mantle of Robin and is the son of Batman. This Robin should indeed be relatively younger than all the other ones, and with that being said, I feel that Asa Butterfield would create a unique, compelling version of the character. I mean, to me at least, he has that look of hidden ferocity and violence in his eyes, which completely defines the character of Damian Wayne. That's not necessarily meant to insult him. If anything, it's the opposite. Dude looks like a superhero. But a little tangent on what I said, there's this thing on the internet where if you say something wrong, the people across the globe will just completely obliterate you with their keyboards. Well, that's about to happen to me. I don't like Damian Wayne. I can see why people like him, it's just that that same reason is why I don't find him appealing. He's really bratty and aggressive, a combination that makes him come off as an annoying, immature child. I don't hate him, I just don't like him either. But that's just my thoughts on the character. Emphasizing that one more time, those comments are on the fictional character, not on the actor Asa Butterfield. That guy is amazing. And last but certainly not least, the bonus Robin whose popularity spread like wildfire after the story of The Dark Knight Returns. This character has had so much hype, especially after it was announced that the second DCEU film would be titled Batman v Superman. So the actress I chose for this, though she's not really within the age range of what we'd be expecting, is Ellen Page. She can play an older Carrie Kelley, getting rid of that whole Batman putting a minor in serious danger idea. Let's also bear in mind that this woman is an Oscar nominee. She's got the whole superhero experience down with X-Men The Last Stand and Days of Future Past, that if she were ever cast in this role, it really shouldn't worry anyone. Plus, her being added to the cast would really add that star power that could potentially fill a few more empty seats in the movie theater. So those are my thoughts on who should be cast as the Robins in the DC Extended Universe. What do you all think? Do you agree with my list? Let me know down in the comments below. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. It means a lot for you to watch my stuff. If you genuinely liked this video, then please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, consider following my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter accounts. And for more of my videos, just click right here.